My name's Nathan Roark. I've been an outdoor educator for 25 years now. That's how I've made my money, my bread and butter. So in the professional spectrum, I'd say that's fair enough, 25 years. It's what I do. I take a lot of joy out of sharing all these amazing wonders outside with other people. I always go back to and feel that my root sits in these early skills of human interaction with the woods, the more intimate skills of being up close and personal with your natural surroundings.
Yeah. For example, shelter building.
For example, shelter.
A nice little segue.
That's right. First of all, Abby, I got to tell you that shelter to me is more than a structure over your head. Shelter's a big concept, and that concept is all about maintaining 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. So if I'm teaching a wilderness survival seminar, my definition of shelter is anything that maintains 98.6 degrees. I think you could still die from hypothermia just about anywhere on this planet as a human being, just because of the physical dynamics of the way heat moves in this planet. So if we go back to physical science and we think about heat transfer and we think about these concepts of conduction and convection and radiation and evaporation, these are key components of understanding shelter. And if you want to live, you understand how heat moves. So this concept of shelter, it's more than just building a leaf hut or stringing up a tarp. It's how am I maintaining my core body temperature and what is my plan? So what people need to realize is if I just lay on that earth, I could die. And that's simplified, but that's real. We have to give ourselves an insulating barrier between us and the earth. We have to protect ourselves from the wind, right? Because the wind is a big enemy if we're trying to stay alive, right? We get real cold if we're in the wind. And it's amazing the difference if you know enough just to get yourself on the leeward side of something. Shelter is not just about what I build, it's about how I think. And I could get away with building nothing and survive a lot better if I have the knowledge of how heat transfer works than if I'm completely ignorant and I build this number one first class roof over my head but do nothing to keep the heat from soaking up into the ground. So I got to understand how that heat works and what's going on there. So my favorite kind of shelter, completely seasonal, completely circumstantial.
Yeah.
Okay, if we're talking total survival mode, I got nothing, then the debris hut really can't be beat.
And some benefits of non-man-made, like all natural.
Sure. The advantages of natural materials, well, you learn how to think outside the box, you learn how to see what's around you. It also empowers you, I think, with a sense of confidence that, hey, so if I do find myself lost and without my tarp and my sleeping bag, I think I can do this.
Has there ever been a time that knowing how to build different types of shelters or has kept you safe or saved your life?
I think the answer you're looking for is, there's been times where I have spent the night in the woods unexpectedly. I wasn't planning on spending the night out, but it just happens. Darkness caught up with me and I found myself not able to find my way out, or just decided it was safer just to make it go over for the night. And my knowledge of shelter, my knowledge of thermodynamics, my practice with shelter certainly paid off. And that's essentially what a really good debris hut does. It becomes your tent and your sleeping bag, all in one.
What, if any, are the advantages of a lean-to versus other shelters?
So fire and lean-tos go hand in hand, in my opinion. Because with a lean-to, you have this large reflective wall, and you build a fire out here with a second reflective wall where you're bouncing the fire's heat back into the lean-to. You create essentially a reflective oven of sorts, and you're sleeping in the oven.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea of a well-made lean-to. And I joke a lot, and I learned this from one of my great teachers and mentors. He would always joke, and he'd say, hey, this is my digital technology. It's my digits, and this is my technology. This is how I make my stuff.